Psychology explains why some people cut off their family, and it's not always as simple as being cold or selfish. For many, walking away is a protective mechanism, a way to preserve their mental health and emotional energy when relationships become overwhelmingly toxic or draining. Family ties are often complicated, tangled with expectations, old patterns, and unspoken rules that can make people feel trapped. When someone repeatedly experiences criticism, manipulation, or emotional neglect, the mind can signal that the healthiest option is to step back entirely. This isn't about anger or spite. It's about self-preservation. The psychology of people who cut off their family often involves recognizing patterns of dysfunction that keep repeating no matter how hard one tries. Highly aware individuals tend to spot toxic dynamics early and understand that engaging may cost them their well-being. For them, boundaries aren't just suggestions, they're essential survival tools. In extreme cases, removing themselves from harmful situations allows them to regain clarity, reduce anxiety, and rebuild a sense of identity outside the family structure. Another key factor is emotional regulation. People who finally cut ties have often tried multiple strategies to cope with hurtful behaviors, from confrontation to avoidance, but nothing changes the underlying dysfunction. By stepping away, they regain control over their emotional landscape. Psychologists note that this is especially common in families where patterns of control, gaslighting, or chronic criticism dominate. Walking away allows these individuals to stop internalizing blame and to focus on healing. It's also worth noting that cutting off a family member doesn't necessarily mean permanent estrangement. Some people return after a period of reflection and mutual growth, while others maintain distance indefinitely to protect themselves. The decision is highly personal and deeply rooted in each person's history, values, and psychological needs. For some, family might simply never provide the safety or support they require, and recognizing this truth is both painful and empowering. Loneliness versus solitude plays a role here as well. Many people fear being alone, yet the act of stepping away from toxic family relationships often teaches them the difference between destructive loneliness and restorative solitude. Solitude becomes a space to reflect, learn, and rebuild mental resilience, while toxic interactions often bring confusion, anxiety, and lowered self-esteem. Highly aware individuals learn to embrace solitude as a tool for self-growth, using it to evaluate relationships with clarity rather than fear. Another psychological perspective highlights intergenerational patterns. Families often pass down behaviors, coping mechanisms, and even trauma without conscious awareness. Someone who recognizes these cycles may choose to cut ties to avoid repeating them in their own lives. Breaking away can be an act of conscious evolution, an effort to disrupt the chain of negativity and create a healthier environment for themselves and future generations. Ultimately, the psychology behind cutting off family members is complex. It involves self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and an understanding of boundaries. It is rarely a decision made lightly. It's the result of prolonged observation, self-reflection, and sometimes painful experiences. People who make this choice often do so not out of malice, but out of necessity for mental and emotional survival. Recognizing this can help others empathize rather than judge. Understanding the mind's role in these decisions provides a lens through which we can see that walking away is often an act of courage and self-care rather than betrayal. If you want more insights into human behavior, relationships, and the mind, subscribe to Human Mind Glitch now.